Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 2019 film Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro. Of course, this film is based, of course, on the famous DC Comics villain, and Joaquin Phoenix actually did win an Academy Award for this role, and becoming the second actor to, and it's the first time in Oscar history, I think, where two different actors won an Academy Award for the same part. And of course, the two different movies, of course. Heath Ledger being the first one for winning it, for playing the Joker in The Dark Knight. He won an Oscar for that. And then in 2019, you have Joaquin Phoenix winning an Oscar for playing the same character. But the difference is that in the 2019 Joker film, which I'm discussing here, it discusses more of a backstory of how the Joker became the Joker. And it's like how they did that in the 1989 Batman movie. You don't really need a backstory for the Joker. A whole 2 hours and 2 minute movie discuss the backstory of the Joker, where you did that in, I think, like about 45 minutes or half the film was the Joker's backstory in the 1989 Batman movie. So you don't really need a backstory. And this is the third time when the Joker was in technically a fourth time, if you count the 1966 Batman the movie. 4 times the Joker's been featured in the movie. But Cesar Romero originally played the part in the movie, way back in 1966. So you don't really need another movies with the Joker. You don't really need it. It's like a waste of everybody's time to do a movie on the backstory of the Joker. True, the Joker is one of the most famous villains in comic book history. I mean, he is. I mean, you can't deny that. It's been used the most times in just about every format. The Joker's been up front and center in just about every format. From in the Batman mythos, from the Batman TV show to the cartoons, from the 1966 cartoon in the 60s, the 1977 Batman and Robin cartoon in 1977. Less about that show, the better. Of course, the 90s cartoons, the 89 Batman film, the Dark Knight movie in 2008. So it's been used time and time again. So that's why it took me a while to see this movie, because it's not really, it's not really it, because it's the Joker's been used so many times. It's like, how many more times can you see the Joker in the movie? I mean, after a while, people get tired of it. Hello, there are other villains in the Batman mythos. Why are they always stuck using the Joker all the time? I mean, it's like enough already, in my opinion. But sticking with the movie, the Joker, it does tell the backstory. It does it really well. But how the Joker became the Joker. But unfortunately, the problem is that you didn't use the name Jack Napier. Because Jack Napier was the name that was used in the 89 Batman film. And I don't know why he was used, they called him something else. Now, true, again, it's safe to say, the YouTube generation here, none of us was born during the time when the Batman comic book was made, way back in 1940. So you don't know which name was originally used for the character. Was it Jack Napier, or was it Arthur Fleck? The name they used for this movie. But Arthur Fleck was a struggling comedian. And also, to have an income, he performs as a clown at either kiddie parties or entertains kids who are sick in the hospital. So, and this whole time, he believed that he was another son of Thomas Wayne, because apparently his mother years ago worked for the Wayne Foundation, worked in the Wayne mansion, and supposedly his mother claims that she had an affair with Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, and those who don't know, and he had an affair and had a kid, and the kid was Arthur, and and that's it. But Thomas Wayne, he at one point he does confront Thomas Wayne and said, "Look, your mother was a mental case. She was in a mental hospital for like 20 years." So, "Oh, that's not true. That's not true." And Arthur finds out doing his own research, and he's stealing the files from Arkham Asylum. That he found out that the story that his mother told him was not true. That he's not the son of, or the illegitimate son of Thomas Wayne. That was not true at all. So he took it out on her, and Arthur actually kills the Joker. Actually kills his own mother. I'm serious. He actually does do that on this day, or a couple of days before he's supposed to be on this famous talk show. Was hosted by Robert De Niro. So that's why I mentioned Robert De Niro earlier, because he plays like the Johnny Carson or Jay Leno of Gotham City, and hosting this late night talk show, and I should point out, and now I'm jumping around the story here, but there's one running theme in this whole movie, and that is Arthur, who of course eventually becomes the Joker. He claims he has his mental illness, because he claims he does have a mental illness in the film, that he has a mental condition, like that he uncontrollably laughs all the time. And so that's why I laugh all the time. I have a mental condition, and you didn't know by watching the movie and watching Joaquin Phoenix's performance that you don't know if he was making this up or not. And at first you thought, oh, maybe he's making it up, because the Joker was always like smaller than, especially the Heath Ledger Joker. His performance in The Dark Knight is a little bit more small. He doesn't laugh all the time like the other, all the other versions of the Joker. For the cartoons and the television shows and everything else, he laughs more. But in Joaquin Phoenix's version, he constantly laughs. Pretty much through the whole movie, he can't stop himself from laughing, and that's because, according to him, he has his mental condition. He controllably laughs all the time. And he gets beat up for doing that stuff, for doing that too, because people believe that he's making it up, and so he got his ass kicked more than a few times in this movie. And so it was one particular time that Arthur is trying to do a stand-up routine, and he goes into one of his laughing fits, uncontrollable laughing fits, and he couldn't stop laughing, and he totally tanks in a stand-up act, and the Robert De Niro character ends up getting a tape of that performance and plays it on the show, and he starts making fun of the guy. I mean, he has an uncontrollable urge to keep laughing, to uncontrollable laughter, and he makes fun of him. So he gets ticked off, or Arthur gets ticked off at the Robert De Niro character, and then he gets an invitation to go on that show, to at least defend himself, and to, clear the air, or maybe have a chance, a national broadcast, to do his comedy routine. And that's what they wanted to do. Maybe to clear the air of why, he acted like that, and to give him a shot of doing an actual comedy routine. So on the night where he actually kills his mother, he puts on the famous makeup, the red suit. He puts on the famous Joker makeup, puts on a Joker suit, or Joker type suit, and he dyes his hair, green, and he does that famous dance on the steps. And there's an actual, that was an actual location. It was not a movie set. I think it was in the Bronx, in New York City. That's where those steps were. I forgot exactly where it is, but I believe it's in the Bronx. And since this movie came out, or at the time the movie came out, everybody was posing for pictures at these steps and trying to do that Joker dance that he did on those steps. So anyway, the cops were now chasing him, and he gets to the studio, and to me this is the highlight of the whole movie. Not just seeing him do that dance on the steps, but to see him kill Robert De Niro in the movie. That's the highlight. Because, Robert De Niro does deserve to have a bullet in the head. Because, and I don't mean people should do that. I don't want to encourage people for doing that. But because of what he said about Donald Trump, true, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump's either. But I'm not going to threaten the guy who was president of the United States for 4 years and say, oh, we should punch, go up to, because Robert De Niro did make a comment saying, oh, we'll go up to Donald Trump and punch him in the head. Well, the Joker got revenge for all the Donald Trump supporters in this movie by killing Robert De Niro in this film. So when I saw that scene, I said, I know I'm making fun of it now, but it was a shocking scene where he shoots and kills Robert De Niro in the film. That was very shocking. And of course, the movie is like a 2-hour and 2-minute version of the Black Swan film. What I mean by that is, in that film, starring Natalie Portman, and she won an Academy Award for that, you can see her slowly losing her mind. In that movie. That's why I felt she deserved to win the Oscar for that role, because it was a very hard role to pull off. I feel this was also a hard role to pull off, but you can see him slowly going mad. For the first half, pretty much for the first quarter, the first half of the movie, you feel very sympathetic towards Arthur, because he can't get a break. He lives in a lousy apartment building, and he gets beat up. He plays a clown and all that stuff, and you do feel very sympathetic towards him. But you slowly see him losing his mind, and with his uncontrollable laughing fits that he has, you can see him slowly going more and more insane throughout the film. So that's why I feel it's very, it is kind of a hard film to watch when you see a guy on a 2-hour movie losing his mind. And I thought that Joaquin Phoenix did a very good job. And he did win like I said earlier, he did win the Oscar for Best Actor for this movie. I think also the movie won for the score and won for the screenplay, I think, as well. But the movie is, it feels a lot longer than it is, because it's a very slow moving film. And some movies can pull that off, but I felt this movie was like too stretched out. If it's like 10 or 15 minutes shorter, maybe a good thing. And also, there's one part of the movie where he was in his clown outfit, and he gets fired from working as a clown and taking kids in a hospital, because he actually brought an actual gun with him, and the gun fell out of his pocket as it was entertaining the kids, and he got fired for that. And he was in his clown outfit, and he still has the gun on him, and he gets harassed by a couple of guys who was at first harassing a woman. So to defend her, he goes to defend her, the Joker does, and he kills 3 guys on the train. And all 3 of them used to work for Wayne Enterprises. And so you have that connection. And of course, Thomas Wayne making a whole comment on it. And when Joker or Arthur goes to confront him about it, and then of course he finds out that, and then at that point he finds out that his mother lied to him about being Thomas Wayne's son. So you have all that stuff going on in this film. And he thought it was way too much in this film. I think it's like a little bit too padded out, a little bit too stretched out. But I'm not going to hate myself for watching this movie, but it's going to be a long while before I watch this movie again, because it was too long, too stretched out, and too boring. I felt it was kind of a boring film. And also, I also felt it was an unnecessary movie. Because like I said earlier, they already discussed his backstory when they did the 1989 the Tim Burton Batman film in 1989. Already did his backstory. So why do they have to do his backstory? Again, that's for one reason: money, for money reasons. But on top of that, other than Joaquin Phoenix's performance, you can pretty much forget about this movie. I mean, in terms of if you want to see the Joker's real backstory, you watch the 1989 Batman film. But I think the reason why this movie was made, because there was an animated Batman film called, I think it was The Last Joke, where it does go into Joker's backstory, and they took a lot when they made the Joker movie. They took a lot of stuff from that animated film called The Last Batman and the Last Laugh. They took a lot of stuff from the Joker's backstory in that film and put it into this film. So I think that's where they got the inspiration from. But I'm not saying it's not a god awful movie. I'm not saying it's not a terrible movie. It's just that it's an unnecessary movie. There's a big difference between an unnecessary movie and a lousy movie. It's a movie that doesn't need to be. What I mean by unnecessary movie, it's a movie that doesn't need to be made. So that's my review of the movie Joker. Please click on the video. Please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com. That's OWDY and that's C.com. That's the homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer. For listening more, please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.